Hello, dear friends. Someone said that I was exaggerating with the solar storm, but the northern lights have been seen even in the south of Spain, in Florida and Puerto Rico, for example, and the media has barely echoed this prodigious phenomenon when the sky is showing us the change with the naked eye. Opinion piece. Northern lights in Spain. Solar storm continues. A very unusual event. The sky turned pink. The storm is not over. Solar awakening of the soul. Storm of extreme magnitude. The solar wind became a hurricane. The biggest solar storm in 20 years. Welcome to the gateway of May. We are entering Uncharted territory. Difficult times for the current Roman Empire. Let's start. Many citizens of Spain and other European countries were surprised last night when they observed the northern lights at the night sky. On Friday night, Spain suffered severe geomagnetic storms that allowed the northern lights to be observed in various parts of the country, such as Madrid, Catalonia, the Valencian Community, Mallorca, and Andalusia. A very unusual occurrence on the peninsula, according to has recognized the State Meteorological Agency. The Spanish-German Astronomical Observatory of Calar Alto in Almeria has also reported the phenomenon. An explosion of northern lights, which is an electromagnetic phenomenon typical of the polar regions, dyed the skies over a large part of our planet pink, confirmed in different observatories and meteorological agencies around the world. The visualization occurs because of the great geomagnetic storm that the Earth is experiencing. On Friday, we had forecasts of a G4 solar storm, which is the second most powerful there is, and in the end, it was a G5, which is the strongest there is. It is not the first time that the northern lights have been observed in Spain, but it has been many years since the visibility of these auroras had been so good, and they had been able to be seen with the naked eye and captured with mobile cameras. It has not finished. The storm is not over. A powerful wave of solar wind hit the Earth's magnetic field on May 10, causing the largest geomagnetic storm in more than 20 years, a category G5 extreme event. It is currently downgrading to G3, but it is not over. More waves are expected to hit Earth's magnetic field over the next 24 to 48 hours and could cause the storm to return to extreme levels. The north of the Earth. To the north of the Earth, this phenomenon can be seen more easily, but on this occasion they have been seen in various parts of Spain, Europe, and even in Africa, where it is very rare for them to be recorded. The solar storm is still active, and there are more coronal mass ejections on the way to Earth, but the degree of solar activity will be lower. If last night it was in its highest category, G5, it now drops to lower intensity, G1. Tonight it is much more difficult to see the northern lights in Spain, although the solar storm continues. Northern lights of this type would be much less visible in Spain if they are seen at all, and at best they could continue at a considerably lower intensity. Of course, those who missed last night's northern lights could have new opportunities soon. Between 2024 and next year, 25, the sun will reach its maximum peak, which implies a greater frequency of solar storms of this type. Therefore, it would not be strange to see more phenomena like this in the coming months. A historical milestone. Last morning from May 10th to 11th, an astronomical phenomenon that is not usually seen in Spain has put its magic in the skies of our country with its particular pink toe. Some northern lights have been seen in areas of practically the entire geography. Many have been surprised to see this phenomenon, which is usually visible farther north on the planet, at latitudes so low that they have even reached the south of the country. The experts call it a historical milestone and explain that it is due to geomagnetic solar storm. According to details, since 2003, there has not been one of such extreme magnitude, and that has led to the northern lights not only in Spain but also in many other places in the world. Although in recent years there had been some northern lights in Spain, it had been a long time since our country could be seen so clearly with the naked eye, and in a generalized way in so many areas of the country. Logically, many people have taken images of what they were watching, and they have shared some spectacular photographs on networks. Scientific explanation. On the social network, alike normal excuse me, meteorology reports that we are near the maximum of solar activity. Sunspots indicate zones of solar magnetic activity associated with atmospheric solar flares and coronal mass ejections. Auroras appear due to the interaction between the solar wind and the Earth's magnetic field. The solar wind is strongest at times close to maximum solar activity, which occurs in cycles of between 10 and 12 years. Polar auroras are due to the presence of electrically charged particles ejected from the sun by the solar wind, which act on the rarefied gases in the upper layers of the atmosphere. The Earth's magnetic field channels particles, mainly electrons and protons, that collide with the atoms and molecules of gases in the upper layers of the atmosphere. These collisions cause the electrons of the nitrogen and oxygen atoms to temporarily ascend to a higher excited energy state. When the normal energy level is restored, photons of light with different wavelengths are released. Polar auroras are mainly observed in arcs close to the magnetic poles, but if solar activity is very intense, as currently, coronal mass ejections or atmospheric solar flares can intensify the solar wind and reach the Earth's magnetosphere, triggering a geomagnetic storm. Monumental change. According to Kesherach, a monumental change is on the way. We are in a new era, and the old way of doing things can no longer exist. In this shift, humankind and the Earth must transcend the current three-dimensional matrix and awaken to the reality of the soul. The Sun is also going through this change, an upgrade, if you will. In turn, this affects the planetary bodies and everything on and within the planet. The Sun will continue to release coronal mass ejections and solar flares, offering photonic light codes and energies that trigger the activation of the human being, returning to the original model as divinity intended. The vibration of the atoms is increasing for cellular regeneration, helping in transformation with the expansion of consciousness. The Earth's magnetosphere, that is the shield that protects planets from the sun's rays, has weakened by more than 10% in the last century. This is by design, so that humanity will receive more energies radiating from the sun in order to prepare for the shift in consciousness. With this higher light entering the planet, every part of our being is affected, physically, mentally, spiritually. There will be two large waves of light from the sun this year, until the end of 2025. There is nothing to fear. This is the divine in action. Living light is offered to us so that we can awaken to our divinity. You are awakening to the reality and truth of your solo soul. Let go of things that no longer serve you. Understand that what is developing on earth goes beyond politics. It is divine. It is a spiritual evolution. All the light for you. Source frequencies. The creative source sends its frequencies to the central sun of each galaxy, and from the center, The light radiates toward the stars of each solar system. From the local suns, new energies are sent to the planetary bodies and their inhabitants, triggering the awakening of a collective. The more open one is, the more one receives of this light. Cleansing old thought forms, traumas, and toxins is very important to better integrate the new light. Meditation works wonders as one detaches from the external world, allowing oneself to be the soul that one is, while deep breathing charges the chakras and cells, realigning consciousness to the rhythm of the heart center. Earth's ascension to the higher realms is by divine decree, as other galactic cycles are in the process of completing, beginning new ones. Then, with observation and guidance from cosmic councils, the galactic community does its part in managing the ascension process as the worlds prepare for the elevation of consciousness. Many of you participate in the meetings of the higher councils in your dream state. So, although you have become tired and impatient in your waking state, you were part of the meetings where it was agreed that this process would be gradual to give as many as possible the opportunity to advance. You are now the ascended masters, you are the elders, and with the completion of Earth's ascension, you can choose to stay on Earth for a time, or you are free to go and continue your spiritual expansion in any star system of galaxy you wish. Whether in the fifth, sixth, or the seventh dimensions depends on you. The next step and travel experience is entirely up to you. It is always has been. You are loved and honored beyond your wildest dreams. Perfect opportunity. According to Sandra Walter, magnetic fluctuation and plasma influx are a perfect opportunity to level up. Deep changes can be made in our heart consciousness and ascension process. Supported by reduced magnetic density, our consciousness shifts from separation to the pure essence of oneness. Sustained geomagnetic storms can produce perfect conditions for prepared and coherent hearts to experience reunion with the divine I Am presence. The magnetic field opens and plasma flows that changes consciousness. Solar flares and plasma filaments are a normal and supportive part of our current reality. Don't let the numbers scare you. We had a strong flare in 2003. The difference now is our thinner fluctuating magnetosphere combined with the intensity of the plasma particles as we pass through the photon belt. When strong magnetic storms last more than a day or two, we are exposed to high-level cosmic rays, plasma, harmonics, and awakening frequencies. We are exposed to new energies beyond the dense veils contained in the old magnetic fields. Welcome to the gateway of May. Hard times. One Sabin says that a financial black swan comes from Asia. Swans migrate both from east to west and from west to east, depending on the population as subspecies, covering distances of up to 6,000 kilometers. In the future, food will be made inside digital replicators, eliminating the need to kill animals. Traditional agriculture will also continue providing real food. We are entering uncharted territory. Difficult times for the Roman Empire according to Anna von Wright. Things were very difficult when Emperor Justinian and his wife, Empress Theodosia, rose through the ranks of the defunct Roman Empire some 1,500 years ago. The coffers were about to run low and the bills were piling up. There were not so many slaves, and conquered nations paying tributes, taxes, and tariffs. So they couldn't think of anything else but to enslave more people, even the Roman citizens who were illiterate. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.